So last night I went out and checked the nav lights, the stern and the port and starboard lights. The only light that I could see come on was the stern light. It was really dim. Here's a little video. Anchor light, tricolor, deck light, steaming light. Well, if they're working, they should be on now. One of the things I'm concerned about is that I don't even have power at these lights. Yeah, see, these are completely dead. I don't know if I have electricity to them and the bulbs are burned out, or what the deal is. But those have to work before we go home. Let's go see if the stern light even works. Okay, so my stern light is lit. Horribly dimly, but it is lit. So I need to figure out what's going on with my bow lights. The fact that both the port and starboard are out worries me. I'm hoping the port and starboard light didn't come on just because the bulbs are burned out and it's not a wiring problem. But, wiring problem or not, I need to fix it. I'm going to start with the stern light, knowing that it comes on. I'm going to try to figure out which breaker it is, because none of the breakers specifically say which one is for the nav lights. Oh! This doesn't have any wiring on it at all. Okay, this is brand new. I just opened it out of the box and What? Oh, there's a couple screws here I'll have to take off. Anyways, I need to figure this out. I'm going to get the stern light off, clip my multimeter onto the bare wires, and flip breakers until I can figure out which one it is. Once I know what that is, I'll turn it off, figure out how to wire this up. The reason I'm surprised is, here's the other lights I got. I expected them to have pigtails, like this, that I could just connect into. That's the green, Starboard. Anyways, I'll figure it out. Once I know what that wire is, I can turn it off, put the stern light on, go to the bow, take the bow lights off, and then one at a time, I'll clip the multimeter onto it, flip the breaker, and see if there's electricity. Really hope there is, because I have no clue where the wiring goes to get to those lights. Well, anyways, that's today's job. This is the last thing that must be done before we set sail. The head is the second last thing, which this is legal. That's not, but it's as important as you can get without being like legally required. So let's get to work. Okay, let's see about what it takes to get this open. Smaller screwdriver for one. I hope it's not solder terminals, but if it is, I'll go solder some pigtails on. Hoping there's like a screw terminal in there. The port and starboard are Sea Dog. This is Aqua Signal? Aqua Signal. I don't know if Aqua Signal is even in business. It's new stock, as you saw, but it, yeah. Oh, there we go. Ah, okay. There's screw holes there. So I need to get a couple of wires, tin their ends, and then I can screw them in captive nuts and drop the wires out. So let's go make our own pigtails. Also, I wanted LEDs, but they were too expensive for the trip home. So these are just standard incandescents. Took me a few minutes to find my solder station and the solder because I cleaned up, which is the best way for me to never know where anything is. I was going to use red and black, but the lights that do have pigtails use black and white, or black and gray. So I'm going to continue the same thing, where I assume the black is the positive. Not that it particularly matters, it's an incandescent bulb. But in any case, yeah, that's why I'm doing that. Let's make some poor person's fair rules. That should be enough length. Just pigtails again. Let's see, can I use that? Yeah, it's not the best helping hand, but should do the job. I don't want to burn my table. Let's put this under here. Paper underneath, melted solder. What could possibly go wrong? Did I mention that I am not very good at soldering? I'm slowly getting better, but I'm not good. I'm not tinning the other side. That'll be wound together with the existing wiring. Could I have a more awkward setup? I'm sure I could, but it would be an effort. That went a lot better. Oh, balls. Taking a brief tangent. So before I put away the solder station, when I was doing my sea trials, I could hear people. This plugs into the built-in VHF radio on my boat, but people were having a hard time hearing me when I was pressing the button. So before I put this away, I'm going to see if I can open this up and see if I can see if there's any problems. I have a new handheld, but it would be nice if I had this working as well. I'm not doing a full repair on this. I'm just cracking it open to see if there's anything obvious. If there isn't, well, I just won't use it. I use my handheld. The nice thing about this is because it's connected to the antenna at the top of the mast, I have 25 watts. And being higher up, that 25 watts, not is it that it can just broadcast further, it also can just simply reach further because it's that much higher up in the air. Get my spudger. There's little waterproof gaskets in here that have perished. So this thing isn't going to be very waterproof anymore, but I don't care because I'm not keeping it. This is a nice to have if it works on the trip home. All right. I don't have the best lighting, but there's the switch. Ah, I see what's happening, or how it works. I don't know if that's coming through at all, but when I press this, there's a metal flap that just sweeps out and presses a little micro switch that's soldered onto the circuit board. And I hear that click making contact. It could also be a problem with the wire going back to the radio. And it might not be a problem with this headset at all. Nothing in here is obviously a problem, and these wires are so fine. If I try cracking this apart further, I'm more likely to break those wires. So I will take a check if I have time with the wires that go from the plug back to the internal radio. So I'm done with this. I was hoping I would have seen a broken or loose wire or something like an easy fix, but nope, no luck. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but there's little pins in there. They could just be opened too wide. If I can take something really small and pointy and stick it on the outside and push that metal in, it might help make a better contact with the pins in the plug. Again, no idea if this is going to help. None at all. But again, she's broke, so what have I got to lose? Okay, well, that's all I'm doing. Either this is better or it's not. Let's get back to lighting. All right, so now I can put the pigtails in this. Man, how do they get away with charging $15 for this? It's not even tinned, and these are supposed to be marine lights. Well, can't say I didn't get what I paid for, huh? It doesn't even have a gasket to create a watertight seal. Lovely. Again, it's incandescent, so there really is no polarity to this at all. So you know what I think I'll do to help minimize the chance of it ripping out? Put a knot in it. I'm sure that's not kosher, but it'll keep it from coming out. Actually, probably back that off. There's what's left inside is too big. All right, that's gonna have to do. Okay, so that's the first one in. Oh, fuck's sakes. It cut the wire. Wow, what a piece of shit. All right, well, I'm not done with this. Oh, I'm glad I did the tug test. Okay, so I can't put them down that hard. The crimps, that is. So that's in. So this time, I'm gonna visually watch for when it bites down. All right, give that a tug. Okay, that's a good connection. Again, just waiting for it to feel like it's engaging. Okay, that's a good connection. All right, so I got the pigtails on. That should be good. All right, Aqua Signal. Is that who you were? Yeah, you were the Aqua Signal. If they're out of business, they deserve it. That was stupid. I say, but I don't know, maybe there was a good reason why it was done that way and I just don't know it, but from my ignorant perspective, that felt stupid. So the Sea Dogs came with their own screw kit, which included a gasket, which is really nice. So when I take the old ones off, I'll have these to put on, and I have to be careful not to drop these overboard. I don't think the Aqua Signal came with any screws, because of course it didn't. I think it was literally just the housing, and that was it. So I'm gonna have to hope. How does this even mount to the... There's little holes in the back. 2 are drilled out and 2 of them aren't. And it didn't come with a screw kit, I don't think. So I don't even know how to mount this to the stern. Look, if I've got to use duct tape, that's what I'm going to use to get home. I don't have time with this anymore. Between the lights I'm taking off and the lights I'm putting on, I should hopefully have enough screws to figure out how to mount the stern light. So let's go get the stern light mounted. Well, actually, no. Pull the old stern light off and use it to figure out which breaker we're using. So looking at this, it looks like it might actually be the exact same housing. So I'm almost wondering, yeah, I can even feel the same screws. I think it's the exact same stern light. I'm almost tempted just to change the bulb in the lens and not even touch the wiring. I think I'm gonna set you up on the dock. This wire is really rigid. I'm actually thinking I might still cut this, if only to have some more wire to work with. Actually, that's not going anywhere because it's tethered by the wire. I gotta pay more attention to not losing the screw. Yes, it's identical. Made in Germany. Mine was made in China. Let me see if I can get the cover off and then clip the wires inside. Oh shit, yeah, as soon as I started to back this off. Oh, I thought it broke, but it didn't break. Well, I don't know what that was, but something just went falling in the water. Okay, oh, there was nuts holding that in. I just lost one of the nuts. Oh well. Oh my god, this wire is in horrible condition. And the bulb just broke. I am very surprised that worked at all. Ironically, that actually makes me happy because that gives me encouragement that the problem is the lights at the bow, not the wiring. Okay, this is convincing me that when I get home, I am completely rewiring the boat. All the wiring for the outside. Even if these work, it's just a trip home. So now I have what I need for the multimeter so I can trace my circuit and see how crusty this wiring is. It's like there was a plastic shielding on the outside of the wiring that's just completely perished. And I'll make a new connection on this side. So because I have to go inside to flip the breaker, I'm going to use these little spring-loaded grabbers. Make sure it's actually grabbing copper. Throwing Copper was a fantastic album. Alright, hopefully I can see this from the cockpit, but with relatively long leads I should be able to. How far can I get this? So you can actually see better than I can. The wires aren't touching. Oh, I can see it from here, good. Steaming lights, no. Deck lights, no. Tricolor, no. Anchor light, no. Running lights, that's it. Running lights, which makes sense. Why am I wearing sandals? Life is better without shoes. Oh, just to confirm, I did turn it off, right? Yes, they're off. The electrical tape that's on here, it's fracturing when I cut it. It's not cutting. I don't know how old these lights are, but they're very, 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 very old. Oh, Matt and them are back. Oh no, that's Rhapsody. Never mind. I'm gonna go grab their dock lines. I'll be back in a minute. These are the screws for the port and starboard light. This is the easiest one to get to, so if I'm gonna miss a nut, I'd rather miss this one. Let's take this off. Okay, hardly ideal, but it'll do the job. The hole that this goes through is a little tight, so I can actually cut a little bit of a thread into the plastic. So even though I've lost that nut, I've got some purchase, and I'm sure it'll be fine for the trip home. There we go. I'm switching screwdrivers because this is my cheaper one, and if I'm gonna drop something, I'd rather drop the one I don't care about. All right. Let's go turn this on again. Oh, nope, I have to put the shrink tubing on it. Doing my usual fan and spin. I should be using butt connectors, but I don't have any small enough. And again, this is trip home wiring. I'm gonna get my pliers so I can get a tighter twist on that. What the hell did I do with my needle? Oh, fuck. Thankfully it didn't rain because I left my needle pliers outside again. I showed on a community post my improvised extension cord. You get a chance to see the jankiness there momentarily. It's one thing to do wiring at a nice desk. It's another thing to do wiring in a precarious position. Okay, let's try turning on the light, and if it looks good, I'll grab the heat gun and shrink it. Promise not to laugh, but it's the extension cord. I made it out of the leftovers from the old inverter. It looks like hell, but it's safe. In fact, it's probably It's probably safer than most commercial extension cords, with the exception of the chafing concerns with the inner wires being exposed. So it's all 12 gauge wiring. And the reason I did this is I went to buy an extension cord and holy shite are they expensive now. All right, let's see if the light works now. Running lights, no short. Let's go see if we got light from the deck. Oh yeah, much, much brighter. Say good, say good. Okay, that's the stern light done. I am going to go to the bow. I think before I get the bow, I'm actually going to top up the air. There's a slow leak in the dinghy I got. I knew that before I bought it. So I'm gonna top that up, put that in the water, and I'm gonna use that to go to the bow. I may just put it in front of the boat, so if anything falls, I have a chance of catching it. I may do it from the boat. I haven't decided yet. From the dinghy, that is. All right. So I'm not gonna be able to really show too much. You'll only see my backside, but that looks like the exact same kind of light. I expect it to crumble on me when I pull it apart. The bulb is not blown. That's unfortunate. That increases the chance I have a wiring problem. This wire is absolutely getting replaced when I get home. Oh, that wire is corroded. Now, let's see if we've got voltage here at all. You're definitely going to see before I do. Yell if there's sparks. Whew. Oh, I didn't want to be running new wiring. Alright, so considering both of them are out, there might be a break somewhere inside. Well, this job just got harder. At some point during that, the camera turned off, so sorry for the bad audio, and it was GoPro only. So the question becomes now, where does that wire go? Okay, that's technically still alive, so I have to be careful, even though there's no voltage there right now. Nah, I'm gonna go kill that circuit. So that's dead. I wonder if there's a wire that comes up and then splits to these two sides, and it's just a bad connection down in there. Oh, I really didn't want to be chasing wires. Make things a bit safer and cut these ends off. Assuming these wires are good and it's a connection down below, I'm probably going to have to go back a fair bit before I can use that wire anyway. I got some exposed fiberglass there. Oh well. Cosmetics will all happen later. Okay. Oops. Dropped some positive. This is a good sign. As I suspected, I think we found the problem. Okay. That's not so bad. I need to fish some new line. Yep, but I'm pretty sure this is the problem. So I bet you if I tap right here, I'm gonna have electricity. I need to pop these off. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. This is kind of a harsh environment for wiring now, isn't it? I'm actually happy. Oh, hey, spider. You probably don't want to be living in there much longer. So I need to get some electrical tape and my bobbins, and I'll pull them up and I'll use that as mousing line. Now, this is 18 gauge, which is probably not big enough, but it's what I have on me, so it's gonna have to do. Now I'm getting through a relatively small, you know what? I think I could just shove this through. I don't think I need to use the old wire as a mousing wire, and I hope I don't come to regret that. You know what? It doesn't hurt to try. If it breaks, then it breaks. This chain is wet, and now my bum is wet. Normally I would fold the wires over so there was some mechanical connection and not just the stiction of the tape, but the hole going down the stanchion is really small, so I don't think I can get away with that. And again, if this snaps, well, I'll figure it out. Okay, I'm glad I did that because I can't see it, but I can feel there's a tiny, tiny little hole at the bottom of the stanchion that was just big enough for the wire. If I had tried to just fish it down, that would have been a pain in the ass. Okay, sometimes I make good decisions. I am going to be very generous with this wire because why not? Put this one through here just so I know which pair to go together. Not that it matters, they're all going to be linked up. Right, let's get the port off. Did someone bite me? little duck. Give some slack to that dinghy so I can swing around. And knowing now that I'm not even going to try to save this wire, I'm just going to cut it and take the light off as one piece. The way it's creased here makes me doubt this wire's any good anyway. Oh my god, this is rotted. Well, I knew that when I bought it. Okay, this is not moving at all. Okay, seized up in there, and I don't know why. I do not want to take this stanchion apart. If I can't get this out, I'm just going to run it under here, and I'll just zip tie it to that until I get home. I really don't want to feed 2 lights off of the 18 gauge though, but I'm not entirely sure I've entirely got a choice here. I need to go get my camera and see what's going on under there. Okay, I don't see anything holding it back. Fuck. Part of me would just want to run it through here, but I know the chain would absolutely destroy it. Do I want to try to take the stanchion off? I really don't, you know. Okay, whatever's in there is holding it hard as a rock. Nope, that's not moving. So close yet so far. So these are 10 watts each. So that'd be 20 watts over 18 gauge. 20 watts at 12 volt, 13 volt really. 20 watt, that's like 2 amps. 2 amps on 18 gauge. What's this wire? 16 gauge. Do I just feed one and jump over to the other? I really don't want to pull apart a stanchion. And I'm very close to losing my cameras, so if I suddenly disappear and finish this off camera, that's why. Okay, so first, before I do too much more, let's see if the wire, oh, Jesus, that wire's corroded. Let's see if I even got voltage here. Okay. Backlight hardly makes a difference. All right, let's go see if we got electricity here. Nope, I don't even have voltage there. Oh! Yes, I do. It's just this wire is not in good shape. Okay, 11 volts. Okay, and that's the ground. So when I do this, I'm going to want to expose a fair bit of wire and try to clear it. Okay, red is ground. I've got the polarity backwards, but I have power here at least. All right, I'm bringing you back oh, there. Oh, that's better lighting. I'm bringing you back because I had a development. I went back up there to strip the wires, and I couldn't remember the polarity, which one was positive, which one was negative, because they had aged the same color, and I couldn't get any voltage at all. So I had to drop the headliner, and what I found, you guess what that is? That is the wire going to those lights. One of them just flat out snapped. So I'm going to cut the other one right there and then pull the new wire through there and reconnect. I'm hoping I've got voltage here. The wire was so black. I'm hoping that's not the case this far forward, and it was just because of exposure to the anchor locker and all the moisture in there. If this is carbonized or whatever that black crap is all the way back to here, well, I really don't want to have to pull it all the way back. I don't even know if I have enough wire to pull it all the way back. So I'm really hoping this is good enough. Obviously, it's becoming crystal clear to me that this boat requires an entire rewire. I'm not really sure how I can film this, so I just wanted to bring you back long enough to show you what I was doing. I'll turn the camera back on after I've got it fixed. Sorry for the bad audio. I'm not setting up the other camera because it's raining. Let's flip the switch and see if it's working, and then working or not, I'll show you what I did. Okay, the breaker didn't trip. That's a good sign. Now let's go check the bow and port and starboard lights. I'm not seeing much. Oh, hell yeah, they're working. The red one? One more to do before we leave. The toilet. Let's take a look at the Nav Lights now that it's dark out. And sorry, I just had a shower. Much brighter than before. I don't think you can see me, but I'm smiling. That wiring was a mess. So seeing the lights on last night in the dark, that was really nice. I wanted to go from there and start doing some of the interior lighting, but as I record this, it's Monday at 8 p.m. I don't have a lot of time left and I need to stay really focused on priorities, and the next one's the head.